Hi, welcome, and thanks for tuning in tonight to our Baby Bunting Facebook Live series, Series 2, Episode 36, on cloth nappies versus disposables. I'm Kim Alexander, mum of two, and have worked in the product team at Baby Bunting now for close on 10 years. In tonight's episode, we hope to talk you through the various nappy types and options available to hopefully help you decide what's right for you, baby, your family and your lifestyle. In order to do this, we're going to cover off three main nappy options. We've got cloth squares or flats, we've got modern cloth nappies, otherwise known as MCNs, and we also have disposables. Before we get started though, I've got a couple of housekeeping points. We do have some awesome giveaways tonight. Up for grabs, we have one lucky winner would receive this Bilby pack at the end here, which includes 3 modern cloth nappies and a pack of overnight absorbers, a bamboo liner pack and a Baby Love show bag. Now, additionally, we have 10 Baby Love show bags to give away, so very generous from our partners at Baby Love, thank you. Now, all you need to do to be one of the lucky winners of tonight's giveaways is to like the official Baby Bunting Australia fan page on Facebook and leave a comment on our Facebook Series 2, Episode 36, and tell us what kind of nappy you'll be using for your little one and why. The other point I want to cover off is I want to put or seed some things in your head that as we talk through these main nappy options that you'll have in your mind to help you work out what your priority is for your nappy type and lead you hopefully down the path of picking the right option for you. Now, in my experience, as well as through customer feedback, the main nappy satisfaction points that come down even to brand, whether you go cloth or disposables, can go right down to brand, really comes down to 3 points. One is fit, so no red marks on baby or signs of discomfort. The other is skincare, so anything that feels dry against baby's skin to help reduce the risk of rashing, and absorbency, so no leaks. There is a secondary level of criteria that I can see in helping make a decision, and then that comes down to environmental factors and price. So just remember, fit, skincare, absorbency, environmental and price. So first of all, we'll start off with cloth squares or flats as they're known. Not too much to say about this, not too much has changed in 1 million years. The first thing that comes to mind if I had to describe it is traditional. So they've certainly stood the test of time, they're still around. I was nappied in them, I nappied my first child in them. They work, you kind of get used to them. They pros and cons. They're certainly easy to wash, easy to dry. There's only one layer, a bit like drying your towels or tea towels. You can fold them in various ways to fit your bub. They're economical. There's no unknowns. In most of these nappies, no matter what fabric type you choose, it'll come down to natural fibres for their absorbency, most likely cotton or bamboo. They can come in terry, flannelette. And then if you choose another option or you choose it's not right for you, you can always use them as burp cloths, cleaning cloths, pram blankies, and they are a more environmental option as they're reusable. Cons, you do have to wash them, you do have to dry them, and you do have to fold them. You do have to change them more often, and I would highly recommend using a pilcher and also a liner to draw some moisture away from baby skin. Now, unlike these that haven't changed much over time, pilchers have. So back in my day, and we were talking before about what we remember, and we kind of remember the hard plastic shower cap type pilchers. They've changed a lot. So if you have a look here, we've got some options here that may seem daunting, but actually they're kind of functional. So see all these poppers here? That can be quite overwhelming, but I've got one here, one I prepared a little bit earlier. It has a terry nappy inside, so fold it up, ready to go. Pilcher. So with all these poppers, if you eliminate these ones here, the top band here is your your waist adjustments, and then these bottom ones here will be your height adjustments. So if you pop those, I feel a bit awkward here, they're not that hard. See how that gets shorter? So for a newborn, you're just reducing your height, and then you can still adjust your waist size. It does have a nice elastic back waist there and elastic legs to help with less likely to leak. So leakages out the legs. So an update in pilchers, but not so much in square nappies. That's probably all for those. We'll move on to modern cloth nappies, which are otherwise known as MCNs. So looking at the MCNs here, we're going to look at the Bilby brand. So if I had to describe these, I would say if you got a cloth nappy and a disposable nappy and they had a baby, you would have a modern cloth nappy. So it kind of takes the benefits of both. So you've got the benefits of being cloth and natural and cotton against baby skin, but also the fit of a disposable nappy. Generally, they're made up of a few components. So this one here is the Bilby one. It is a shell. So they'll all have a shell, which is your outer coating, which will have some sort of waterproof protectant on it. You will have an insert. The one we have here is what we call a trifold. Obviously, it folds 3 times and gives you 3 layers. What I like about these nappies, and you might see if you do research on modern cloth nappies, is there's ones called pocket nappies, and the reason for that is that you can put the insert on the inside in, I guess, the pocket. Now the great thing I think about these is it gives you an option, so you can do that like so. I'm sure it's easier than what I'm doing here. Here we go. Now, people choose to do this, I think, for convenience. So if you were changing at home and you had this guy in your nappy station ready to go and you're changing baby, it's all ready to go. My preference, though, is to use this popper option. So this insert has poppers on it, and it clicks into place on the top layout. So it touches baby skin, which is okay. But the reason I like it is if baby only soils a small amount, or it's not I don't know, I'll call it a punami, it goes everywhere, you can just change the insert. You don't have to wash the shell, whereas if it's on the inside, baby's skin is up against the nappy, you will have to wash the entire amount, dry it, and have it ready. What you can also get with modern cloth nappies is what we call an absorber, or this one's called a nighttime absorber. Basically, it's like a pad, I guess, a fabric pad of layers of cloth. It can sit on top, just gives another layer of protection and absorbency. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my words now. And then to help draw that moisture away, as I would recommend for the cloth nappies, there's various forms out there. The one I'm going to show you tonight is this Bilby bamboo disposable liner. So it's kind of like your kitchen towel. It does have tear-offs, which are just the right size for a nappy. You can tear those off. I've heard of people cutting those in half and just using one for expense reasons, just to save money. I, for the sake of the exercise, would fold that in half, pop that on top, and then the good thing about doing that is if there's a number 2s, you can just pop those solids and dispose of those and pop those in your wash without having to touch, scrape, and mess. Hands-on mess. So that's your modern cloth nappy, I guess. So I guess pros and cons. Obviously more environmental because you get to reuse them. You get a more personalised fit. Oh, I tell you what I didn't talk to, which is really important in fit, is on the inside of this pocket. Now it's going to get up nice and close now. You have the ability, see in there hiding, See, this is elasticized. So you've got an elasticized waist and elasticized legs. But what you have the option of doing is actually adjusting. See that L? I don't know if you can see that L. And then if I squeeze that a little harder, you will see an M, an S, and an extra S. Now I can adjust that length to tighten that leg strap. So you can see there one side is tighter than the other. What's he set on? Oh, he's already set on extra small. So now they're both the same. But if I was to go back to large, you wouldn't be doing this every nappy change, so don't stress. But really cool that you've got that option. And I really like that the sizes are on there, because then both sizes will be the same. See how now that's really quite stretchy compared to that one? And what that will do is increase or decrease the height of the nappy and give you a better fit around the leg there. So that really is modern cloth nappies. Pros, obviously, environmentally more friendly because you can reuse them. Personalised fit, super cute prints. There's some great prints out there. These are some we just pulled here for now. It is cost effective long term, and it is more absorbent and less likely to leak than your flats or squares. Cons, you still do have to wash them. You still do have to dry them. The good thing about the trifold is that it opens up, so you're not getting all those layers in one. But a con is you do have to change them more often, just like your cloth nappies there. So then if we move on to disposables, I'm just going to move these fantastic prize packs out of, I think I just grabbed that out of the pack. I'm just going to show you some disposables here out of the pack so you can see them against each other, I guess. So we have 3 types. 2 are in store now. So we have our Baby Love and our Huggies. Very credible brands. Both have very similar features. Don't look at my cheat sheets here, but I'm going to tell you some of the like-minded features. They all have some points of difference. They're both made out of breathable materials, so they kind of feel a bit like PPE, a bit papery. They both have leak guards, so if you look inside here, a leak guard is this guy here. Don't know how well you can see that, but he'll catch certain treasures in that and it's elasticized, so it'll hold that in there. They both have that. You see the leak guard in there also. They both have elasticized waists and legs for fit. They both have printed designs on the front. They may vary from size to size. They both have up to 12 hours protection, and they're quite dry to touch once a bit of liquid has gone into the surface against baby skin. The pros are they're light and compact. If you compare that guy to this guy here right now, he's quite bulky. So good for on the go. He does lock away wetness. He's convenient because you get to throw him away, but he can absorb more than a cloth, believe it or not, even though he's quite thin there. Cons, you throw them away and they're one-time use. So not great on the environment, quite harsh actually. And they may contain some chemicals within the layers of nappy to achieve the outcomes that they do, which is somewhat what we want, but there could be chemicals in there depending on the brand. A new emerging brand that will be available soon at Baby Bunting, wait for this, is our new Eco Originals brand. He pretty much covers off all the features and benefits that the other brand does. One extra added feature is that he is 90% plant-based materials, and as a company vision have the ongoing commitment to reducing carbon emissions in manufacturing. Even the packaging is compostable. On a side note though, this is the newborn size, comparable to the other newborn. You'll see he's quite large compared to these guys if you were to put him on top. But what they're doing, they're quite innovative. What they're doing is they're going to come up with a smaller size and call this the newborn plus size. So watch that space. It'll be coming out sort of mid-August, September. And hopefully sooner than that in Baby Bunting. Absorbency. Now this is where the fun begins, and if you've noticed any green muck on my hands, it's not because I've been like un-COVID safe, it's because I've been doing some experiments for you today using green food colouring. So what I did was I grabbed each of the variants of nappies. They each got 50 mils of water with green food colouring. A disclaimer on that, when I was Googling how much a baby weighs, is that a newborn in the first week is about 15 mil. So I did 50 mil. So it's quite excessive, but because we were doing a comparison for the first 3 months, a 5 kilo baby could possibly do between 35 to 45 mil in a session. That's the right word. At a time, is what the internet told me. Of course, every baby varies. I certainly had one that weighed more than the other. So what can I tell you? So what I did, I poured it on each of them. Immediately I got some humble kitchen towel and did a blot test as an immediate. So what I've got here is on each version of the nappy. So we start with Terry. Blot test number 1 is immediate. Blot test number 2 is 5 minutes later. Blot test number 3 is 15 minutes later. You can see that it does slowly decrease. Now these look way worse because obviously I did them hours ago and they've had time to seep, but I think this is a real true indicator. I don't believe they've moved since this afternoon when I did it for you. Flannelette, same deal. So immediate, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Then we went into modern cloth nappies. Immediate, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Disposables, Baby Love, immediate, 5 minutes later. There was no point in doing after that. Huggies is the same, immediate, 5 minutes, and Eco Originals, the same deal. So if you compare something like, let me say, a modern cloth nappy 3rd version against any of these 2nd versions, of course, there's nothing there. It is absolutely, unfortunately, very clear that disposables are a winner on pulling the wetness away from baby skin and absorbency. Now, the other disclaimer I'm going to put on this, and it is completely my fault, and any fanatics out there who are completely modern cloth nappy, please don't get mad at me, but I ran out of time. I only pre-washed the cloth nappies once. Now, what that means is each time you wash it, the more absorbent it gets. So the only thing I can liken that to is a tea towel. So most people out there would have used a tea. I hope they'd used a tea towel. And you have your old favourite, probably fraying favourites that you know are just going to dry at first wipe, compared to your new freshies that you keep just pushing water around. So I feel like I haven't done cloth nappies justice here. And when I Googled it to have a look, some of them say up to 8 times before you get a good show of what absorbency will look like. I certainly haven't done that here today. So I feel like I've done a little bit of misjustice, so I apologise, but I think the thing we can take away is that they're all exactly the same. They all had 50 mils of green water poured into them. Costs is the other one. So we've sort of covered off most of the points. Cost is the last one. So I'm not going to bombard you with per piece pricing, etc. But what I will tell you is how I calculated it. So I based it on the first 3 months of having a baby and how many average nappy changes you would have a day. I based it on 10. Now, some people will change more than that, some maybe less. And then, of course, for the first 3 months, a 3-month-old obviously would be different to the first day or 2 weeks or so. So 10, I think, was a good average. I only used newborn size. And what I found was the least expensive were actually the disposables. So your Huggies and your Baby Love and your flat squares, including the pilchers, the bamboo absorbers and the fasteners. And that came to approximately $250 in total. And they were almost like for like. The next one was probably the Eco Disposable and the modern cloth nappy. It was almost double, or actually it was more than double. It was $670, but about the same. However, on both the cloth nappy scenario and the modern cloth nappies, I based this one on 36 nappies and this one on 24 nappies. The reason I did that was I sort of figured 3 days without washing, if you needed to, that's how many you might need to set you up. If you bought less, it would become less expensive, and your flat nappies would definitely be the standout least expensive. However, with your modern cloth nappies and your flats, you're done. So with that space, you can take that right through, whereas with your disposables, that might be comparable for the first 3 months, but you have to consistently reinvest in that space. So that comes to the end, I guess, and I really wanted to give you a conclusion on this, on cloth versus disposable. I'll give you an answer. Might not be what you're after, but I'm going to say my advice and what I've, in my experience, worked out and worked through today. I would say it's compromise. The answer to me is compromise. Try using washables during the day while you're at home. Ease into the routine and Bub's individual needs and yours. No one wants to put extra pressure on you or stress that you don't need, either way actually. So I would say use disposables when you go out, when you go on holidays. Hopefully the borders open up soon again. We can all go on holidays. Use your disposables for then, or even just have disposables in the background for backup, just to take some peace of mind for you that you know if you don't get the washing done, they're there. There is a solution for Bub and for you. You may find washables once you get into a routine just as easy as disposables for on the go. There's things like wet bags, laundry bags, and you'll get so used to packing them, folding them, doing what you need to do to get ready for baby that it probably isn't as big a deal as it feels now making the decision. That's about it. Look, we hope this was really helpful. It was certainly fun for us. Does anyone have any questions?
Just one question so far.
Yep.
Tracy has asked if we will have the Eco Original baby wipes as well.
Hi, Tracy. Yes, we're trying. Yep, we're in the process at the moment, so they should arrive together. Good question. Thank you. That's it. All right. Please don't forget our giveaways. I'm going to go to my notes because I want to make sure that I tell you the right things. So the giveaways, all you have to do is go and like the official Baby Bunting Australia fan page on Facebook and leave a comment on our Facebook Live Series 2, episode 36. Post us telling us what kind of nappies you will now use and why. Thanks, guys. See you next time.